Hi everybody, welcome to Sandy Treasures. Today I am creating another mermaid for my environmental awareness collection. So it's turning out to be a collection because now I have so many pieces that are about environmental awareness. I love the subject. I'm having so much fun with it. Why not just run with it, right? So here you're seeing me create a little mermaid, and I'm using first a lighter color pencil, and then when I'm happy with what I got, then I line it again, and as I'm lining it again with a darker color pencil, I'm making modifications. And in this case, after a couple of mermaids, I made the executive decision and I chose the first mermaid that I did. I really liked, but I'm letting you guys see the process, and I'm letting you guys see the second mermaid that I did, which I thought it was a good concept, but no, I'm not going to use her this time. You know, maybe for another story, but for this story, I'm using the first one. Okay, so what is she doing? She's basically sitting on the bottom of the ocean and she's kind of sad. You know, her arms are up like, wow, you know, there's no life left in the ocean. So that is kind of like the base of the story, and I'll get a little bit more into it as we get more into the drawing. So once I have my concept, I don't have to trace this drawing onto my board because I like doing these freehand. They're a lot of fun. And I'm using a water pencil because I can easily erase with a little water rag, you know, a little wet rag or a little wet napkin. And I find it easy enough to deal with. So that's what I go with. Once I have all my lines in place, they're pretty accurate. However, a lot of times I do make more modifications even after I have the line work done. And the thing about watercolor pencils and oil paintings, because that's what I'm using now, is that if I paint over one of these watercolor pencil lines, it's going to stay there. Basically, I'm going to encapsulate with my oil painting that watercolor pencil line, and I don't like that look too much. It's not like a scribble scrabble look that I'm going for, so I try to clean up my lines as much as I can because I am trying to preserve translucency in this project because I do like the looks of the wood grain coming through. So my technique is I basically base coat the skin, then base coat the tail, and base coat, of course I did first the background. And when I have my base coats the way I like them, then I come back and I do some more detailing. And what is inspiring me to do this project is basically all about the pollution that we have in our oceans. So I'm trying to tell a story, and let me know if you think I'm getting where I want to get, which is try to tell a story about a mermaid that is finding herself in a dead sea, and she is surrounded by plastics and pollution. And the next step, which you're not going to see in this video, it's going to be on the next video, I'm going to be painting some dead fish that she's going to be kind of playing and making believe that these dead fish are alive. I know that this is a protesty type of painting, but this is the kind of stuff that inspires me the most. You know, when I hear something that is such an issue that we should have more awareness and that we also should have a solution in place. And from what I'm hearing also is that we only recycle about 9% of the plastics from the world. So imagine 91% of them are ending up on landfills, on rivers, in the bottom of the ocean, on the surface of the ocean, floating. This is a big deal. So when I talk about this, it makes me think about all the things I can do in my personal lifestyle to reduce the amount of single-use plastic. And it's kind of hard because, you know, you go to a restaurant and you get some takeout food, and what do they use? They use a styrofoam container when they give you a plastic fork, the black ones, which I think are even worse than the white ones. But, you know, it's just too much. It's a single use, and then boom, it gets discarded. I think about less takeout food. I eat more at home. And I also, many years ago, I made the decision to not buy synthetic clothes because that's another issue, believe it or not. I had no idea that polyesters and rayons and other synthetic clothes were made out of plastics. So when I found that out, and also that they are toxic to our bodies, and I'm kind of like on the delicate side when it comes to toxicities and fake foods and, exposing myself to stuff that I shouldn't. I'm a little bit on the sensitive side, so I made a decision to just go ahead and bag about 6.5 bags of synthetic clothes in my closet and donate it. And I also use bamboo toothbrushes. I use also wood combs and wood hairbrush. And I also do a lot of repurposing and recycling, reusing, or using the heck out of the products that I already have. So I do fix, things that break instead of throwing them away. And on that line of things, I do like this store in my area called Aldi's, because you have to put like a 25 cents in the shopping cart, and then it returns your 25 cents for putting it right back. And then you have to bring your own plastic bags or your own bags, whatever they are. Or you can get a cardboard box, kind of like Sam's and Costco does. Like, they don't bag it for you. So I like that concept. And also, a lot of the foods that they sell have less ingredients. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Sourdough bread, if I get it at Publix, it has about 20 ingredients. And if I get it at Aldi's, it has only 3 ingredients. So I'm all for that. So I like my life a little bit simpler. I like to be less wasteful and more considerate about what we're doing to our environment. I have lots of trees around my house. That's another thing that's very important to me. So I like to live in an area where I can, go to shopping and, events and stuff like that. But I also think that we can do it in such a manner that we're not impacting in a bad way, or at least we're minimizing the impact. You see what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that basically through my arts that I can inspire everybody to be a little bit more conscious and aware of what is it that they're consuming, how are they using it, and everything. So because my paintings are telling a story, and in this case here, you're going to see the completion of the story on part 2. And I hope you really like it. And I hope you share it with your friends and family. And I hope you get on board by understanding the impact of our actions on the environment and making better choices to minimize the harm. So this is on the individual basis that we have to consciously make this decision. And with all of that said, I hope you guys are liking this content, and it doesn't cost you anything to support this YouTube channel by giving me a like, subscribing, and hitting the notifications bell. You know how that works. That's how we advance in this YouTube world. And now let's get back into the painting, because I've done a lot of advancements, and here on what I'm doing at the moment is working on the skin tones. And all these shadows and highlights are done on a already dried base skin tone. So if I make a mistake, I can easily just erase it. I didn't mess it up. And with a dry brush, I scored the grid on the tail, so it helps me, it guides me a little bit when it comes to doing the scales on the tail. And that's pretty much it for today. I know it's not finished, but that's why you're going to watch part 2 of this mermaid story. And full disclosure, the links that I provide that are from Amazon are affiliate marketing that I do get compensation if you guys do end up ordering from that. And I'll see you on part 2 of this mermaid story. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.